Champion eliminated.
Hello everyone, this is Spliced, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Caustic character. Caustic is my main character, and I haven't really been playing him in recent days, and there's reasoning for that, and I just want to go over that. So we all know that Season 1 has been out for a few days now, and with it came the minor changes for Caustic. If people don't know what the actual buff was for Caustic, you didn't keep up with the actual Reddit or the patch notes or anything like that. Basically, it was 3 minor buffs. Basically, one of them was a 10% distance of the smoke, so it's increased by 10%. The delay of doing damage with the smoke is removed, that 1 second delay after you throw the smoke and then it pops. The damage will just start popping instantly. And the last one was the cooldown of the traps has been reduced from 30 seconds to, I think, 25 seconds. Now I know that they're doing minor buffs slowly over time to see if the character will be balanced or not, but I just want to safely say right now that this character needs a major buff and not minor buffs. This is my own opinion, of course. It can be subject to change. I don't even think I'm really like that intelligent on this game at the moment, but I do actually see some things about this character that I would like to put out and just put my thoughts out there and see if you guys agree or disagree. If you guys agree, leave a like. If you guys disagree, dislike it if you want. But basically, the problem with this character is obviously his hitbox and his abilities that revolve around the character. They did say that they fixed up some hitbox issues, but that is not something that, can be, just fixed overnight or anything like that, because just the actual size of the character is extremely big and he's an easy target to shoot. And on top of that, he has no mobility on his character whatsoever. So there needs to be some sort of compensation for that, since most characters who are top tier right now are the characters that have all the mobility in the game, and you want to be able to move around really fast in order to compete with these people. And as Caustic, he's supposed to be a defensive character. I completely understand that, but his defensive abilities are really weak as they are right now. Something to point out is how slow the traps take to activate. I think that's a huge problem, because if you want to use your traps mid-combat, you're going to have to run away, and while you're running, throw them in front of you or something, so that if you're being chased and they come around the corner, then they'll get popped. But the problem is with that is the trap makes a huge amount of noise, and it's such a long, slow loading time for it to become a full entity. So because of that, the enemies know exactly when the trap is going, where it's going to be, and if they go around the corner, it's going to pop. So they'll just quickly reroute themselves, and if you throw it right in front of them, they can just jump over it because it's only a small disc on the ground. So I have a few suggestions for this character. I don't know if anyone's going to agree or disagree with them, but I just wanted to put it out there that I just wanted to say that I don't think that minor changes for this character is going to fix him. I do believe that major changes will, though. If we keep doing minor changes in the speed that is going right now, the game has been out for well over a month, and these are the 3 things that has happened to him so far. Then I don't think that he's going to be pretty viable for a very long time. So if he could get maybe a big buff, one of these suggestions that I have, then maybe he will be competitively viable and be able to keep up with all the other characters despite his huge hitbox. So one of the big suggestions I had was, again, mentioning the speed of his traps activating when you throw them. They should activate faster, in my opinion, so that you can use them in combat. I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know exactly the speed. Maybe try doing 50% extra speed, maybe 75 extra. I wouldn't say double speed, because I'm thinking about that right now. That might actually be a little bit too fast, because this character is supposed to be defensive. But that could be one of the things. Another one I would think is his ult. Either make it a faster cooldown, or instead of making it a faster cooldown, make the gas explode into the same size as the Bangalore ult a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit too big, so maybe 75% of that as well. I'm just shooting in the dark right here, by the way. I didn't research any of this at all. These are just suggestions that I've come up with as I played the character. I don't know exactly how they're going to play out, but right now his ult is pretty useless because it's a very small area of effect, and the ult itself takes a decent amount of time to charge. It's not really slow, but it's also not really fast like Pathfinder or Octane. So because of that, he's in kind of this weird middle ground right now with his ult, and really you mostly just rely on his traps in order for it to work. And even when if the traps don't work and then the ult doesn't work, then you're just left as a huge hitbox character that moves really slow. I know that the movement speed are the same, but you feel slower. So something to do with the ult, I would say either make the cooldown faster so you can throw the grenades a lot, or have the gas explode a little bit bigger. So that's a suggestion I have for that as well. Someone also mentioned something to me about this other suggestion that I thought was really interesting, is when someone is in your trap and the trap is activated and they're in the smoke taking damage, if that were to give you like a mobility boost, I don't know exactly how that would work, but I mean, that's another suggestion maybe they can look into. Maybe you guys can expand upon that one as well. That's not my suggestion. I'm just using that one as well. But here's another major one that I really want to address, and that is the main reason why using this character is such a hassle is, well, this game is mostly a team-based game, obviously, because there's only squads at the moment. So you want to work off your team to beat the enemy. However, this character works against his team so much, it's kind of ridiculous how the smoke slows your teammates. The gas also blurs their image, like they can't see, and the traps also physically block your teammates as well. The physically blocking part, I guess that's on the Caustic to throw them down in certain areas, but I mean, if you're trying to block the enemy but then your teammates want to go to that direction, then they can't, and they also can't destroy your own trap or anything like that. I mean, I'm down for that because, you know, you don't want griefing or anything like that from your teammates, but at the same time, you know, if you throw down a trap and then the Caustic goes down, then, you know, the trap's kind of in the way and you're kind of screwed. So maybe something to do with fixing all these problems with teammate related issues. If the teammates could just run by the smoke or something like that, then I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe blurring the vision would be fine, but the slow definitely needs to go. I think that's not cool. Or flip it on its head and they can see just fine, but they are slowed. I would more prefer them being blurred and then having speed, because I think that's fair, that if you're trying to go through smoke, you don't want to be able to see, because then, you know, they would create some problems of Caustics being everywhere, just throwing traps down, automatically shooting the trap, and then people just standing in the trap. You can't see the smoke, but they can see out of it. So I'd say blurring is good, but the slow is not so great. I do believe that, so the proximity buff that they did was decent-ish, but the problem I have with it is that it triggers at the max distance that the gas goes. And what I mean by that is, I would like for them to have it so the trap activates when the enemy is closer towards the trap, but the smoke goes beyond their trigger proximity. So let's say you trigger it at 1 meter, but the smoke goes to 2 meters, so that you are already trapped inside the smoke, and to get out you have to move a couple feet. I think that's pretty cool, and I think that would, you know, define the word trap a little bit better, in my opinion. Having that extra range for the trap to keep the enemy trapped inside of it would be pretty cool. I don't know the exact distance. I was just using that as an example. I don't say 1 meter and 2 meters is like a good range. I'm just using it as an example. And then another one is for the Caustic himself. So I see another issue with Caustic, and that is that he cannot see through the smoke. He can see through it clearer than his teammates, but he can't fully see through it himself. Even though he does say the line every single time, "My vision is clear," it's not as true as he says it is, because I remember going into the smoke when the enemies are on the other side of the smoke, and because I'm halfway into my trap smoke, there's like this distance between being in the smoke and being on the other side of the smoke, where the enemies won't be able to see you, but then they can also see your silhouette. If you're halfway, if you meet halfway with the trap, the enemies can see you in that trap smoke. Maybe not so much the caustic smoke as much, but the trap gas. If you're side by side with it, they will be able to see your silhouette. But then you won't be able to see past that because you have all this gas in your face. And even though he says my vision is clear, you can't really see. So maybe a little bit of a vision adjustment when you go through it would be pretty interesting. I think that would help. Again, you might think like a lot of these suggestions they might be totally overboard, but you got to consider the fact that he has no mobility and he has a bigger hitbox, so he needs a lot of compensation to work with that to help him play his defensive role. So I think a lot of these would work out. The mobility boost, again, was someone else's suggestion. I don't think he should get a mobility boost. I just think that everything else that he has that works with this character should be buffed in some way. I'm not saying all these suggestions should be all implemented as well, because I think that'd make him a little overtuned, but maybe use a couple of these and then whatever else happens after that. So that's all I have for today. I just wanted to make a quick suggestion box about this character. I absolutely love Caustic. He's still my main character, but I find it really frustrating to play him when I can't keep up with all these enemy players that are playing Bangalore, Wraith, and the other two characters that are really fast. So there you go, guys. Just want to make a quick suggestion box. Let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments below if you guys agree or disagree with these buff suggestions. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.